So people will come to me, and I'll design logos for them, and I'll tell them, bye bye, go. I've done my job. Don't call me. Call me when you need another logo. The problem is when someone comes to you with a logo, when next do you think they will need another logo? Logos are meant to be long lasting if you are doing a good job in the first place. So someone that comes to you for a logo today will not come tomorrow. At least not for that same logo. Do you understand? It takes people time to start new companies. It takes people time to rebrand. So you see, you're impoverishing yourself if you say all I do is logos. That means one client that you engage with is allowed to go for a minimum of 5 years before coming back to you. That's poor business. That's poor business because the client should not go for 5 years. The client should come back next week for something. But if you're a logo designer, full stop, what are they coming back for? You've done the logo, it's good already. And I used to operate like that. Then I'll go and pray, God, bring clients. Where are the clients? I'm chasing them away. Then I realized that I was doing logos. They were paying me like, then I wasn't sure of myself. I was charging 50K, 70K. But I was charging a premium in my mind. But you know, when you stack up 70K, how many 70K do you stack up before you buy a house or buy a car? You understand? Doesn't how many? It's an impossible task. How many 100K do you stack up in our economy before you buy anything? And that's assuming that out of that 100K, you don't eat, you don't do anything. Just take the money and just save it immediately. Because out of that 100K, 200K, how many 500K will you stack up? That's the truth. How many would you stack up to get things in society that you need as your life is increasing? As you're getting married, you're having children, your children are going to school. How many 100, 500K do you stack up on doing just a good thing? Because there are other things that will take the money. You have to pay for bills, pay for NEPA bills, pay for this, pay for those. There are bills all around. So before you know it, your savings is not more than 30% of what it is you work for. If you are good at saving, a lot of times you don't do better than 10%. And that's why we realize that our lives are not moving forward. The best you can acquire as a designer that does just one thing is a laptop. And even now, laptops are so expensive that you cannot afford it by just doing one thing and having one client come and go for 5 years before they come back to you. Do you understand? You can't do it that way. And I learned that the very hard way because I realized that the people I started working with in terms of people that were doing complementary work to my work as a logo designer, like printers, I realized that okay, I'm working with this client and I'm doing their logo and they're paying me what I think is a premium, which is 70 to 100K. And I send them to the printer because I don't do other things. I just do logo. I'm a specialist. That's all I do. Then they go and meet one printer who is half educated. Half educated. You understand? Went to secondary school, didn't go to university, drop out, that kind of thing, started printing press. They took that thing to him. He developed the letterhead, the business card, the calendar, the brochure, the t-shirt, the pen, because he is not saying no. He never says he's a specialist in everything. Then I bring it. He works like a Chinese person. We can do. So he picks it. And before I know it, me and that guy, we meet 5 years time, and I've changed my laptop, but he has changed his car and his house. See the difference between saying you are grinding yourself in one place and you're multitasking? That's the difference. And that's why that printer now goes on and he's bigger, now builds a big printing press and now approaches you as a designer and says, can you come and work for me? Can you come and work for me? Don't worry, you can work from home. Just make sure you're doing the design for me. Before you know it, that printer is not even touching print work anymore. You are still clicking mouse. 20 years time is a difference. He has like 5 printing presses. We've changed only like 5 laptops. And it's because we don't see the big picture. We don't see the fact that we are graphic designers. And that is a compliment, not a stigma. But people think it's a stigma. A graphic designer is bigger than any other designer. I'm telling you. It's the biggest compliment anybody can pay you. Because it means that you consult on anything graphic. When you're a UI guy, all you do is consult on UI, which has graphics in it. So people don't get it. People don't get that when they call you a graphic designer, it says, thank you, you think of me so highly. That's what it means. It means you are the biggest multitasker in the world. When they say a graphic, they can bring anything to you. Not only can you do, you can also consult on what has to do with the visuals. But once you tell people you're a web guy, they kind of say, okay, it's not web, I don't need you for this. So we need to change our mentality concerning what it means to be a multitasking creative.